morning, everyone. It is Thursday, February 4th, 2016. I'm recording this a day in advance. It'll go live tomorrow on Friday, February 5th. This is Gersh's Gaming Diamond or Ragequit, episode 9, I think we're on. And man, we've got a lot to go over today. First thing, most important thing, biggest thing I'm most excited about, the new season started officially on Monday, and I played my single placement match in StarCraft. After you've been on the ladder for a season, the next season you only have to do one placement match to get qualified on the ladder. And check this out, everyone. Whoops. Check this out right here. I'm going to go over to multiplayer. BAM! Ladies and gentlemen, we have here undeniable proof of actual progress. I got promoted to the Gold League, and I've been playing a couple of games up at the Gold level, and man, I'm just excited. I was bronze all the way through the beta until like the last couple of days. Then I was silver last few days of the beta all the way through the first season, but here we're moving up. It's awesome. Gold League. I'm very, very excited about this. Alright, having said all that, what I want to talk about today, to start with, is we're going to start by talking about sort of, I figured, let me back up a moment, I figured that this is a good time with the new league, with the new season having started, getting promoted into a new league, to kind of take stock and see sort of where we are on this improvement journey from Diamond to Ragequit that, I've embarked on. And I want to take a look, starting with GG Tracker, and then we're going to go into one game specifically. So sort of looking macrocosmically, I have it right now filtered to just 1v1 ladder matches. Yay, gold! Sorry, I'm excited. So just filtered to 1v1 ladder matches. And let's take a look at the spending skill. As we go back, this is 2 weeks back, and then we're going to go, I think, another couple of weeks back. You notice, as much as I would like to say, oh yeah, look at me, all these Master, Grandmaster, Diamond spending skill levels, there's also games where I have Silver and Bronze and Gold. And if I'm being honest with myself, which I try really, really hard to do when I'm assessing my own StarCraft skill, my macro game has the potential to be really good. But it's just potential. And it's very inconsistent right now. And that is something that I want to change and improve going forward. In taking stock, sort of where I am, I've been talking about, I think in the near future I'm going to be focusing on scouting or better unit control or better, unit composition, things like that, because I've been saying, because my macro's pretty good. But I think it's worth it while I'm in Gold League to not just make my macro pretty good, but to get my macro to good. Consistently, solidly good. And while individual games may be won or lost by tactics, tactics, by micro, by poor scouting, by whatever it is, and I'm still going to have kind of my eye on there and be looking for ways that I can improve tactics and scouting and such like that. I think this season, the focus is going to be getting the macro consistently good. Now, what is good macro? I'm so glad you asked that question. Let's jump into the let's take a look at the game that I'm going to be showing the replay for. And you see this spending skill. There's an SQ, which is called the spend quotient. And what this is, the formula is a little complicated, and to be honest, I don't fully understand it. But here's the two things that are important to it, is you want high income, and you want low bank. That's it. Because, as we've talked about before, StarCraft is a game where a lot of the victory or defeat comes down to make a lot of stuff and then smash that lots of stuff against your enemy's face. Preferably as quickly as possible. Right? So, getting a lot of stuff means mining a lot of resources. High amount of mineral income, high amount of gas income, and then spending all of that minerals and gas and putting it into the force that you're playing against. So what happened to this game? Well, we're going to take a look at the replay and see. We had a couple of small battles. He had actually some really good harassment at the beginning. And then, kind of in the mid-game here, I just started rolling in the money and didn't know what to spend everything on. And then at the end of the game, there's typically these spikes up at the end, where it's like the game is over, everyone knows the game is over, and you're just like typing GG, before your enemy surrenders. That sort of thing. So, it's not this part. Oops. Let me try that a little bit better. It's not this part of the game where I go from 715 banked minerals up to 2,700 banked minerals in about a minute and 20 seconds that I'm super concerned about. It's this piece of the game where I sit between 1,000 and 2,000 resources for 5 minutes. Also, I'm sitting at like 1,000 gas for that same period of time. So let's go into the game. Let's and talk about that directly. Here we go. There we go. And I'm going to go through the game at least twice. The first time we're just going to kind of blow through on high speed so we can kind of see what the game looks like. And then the second time we're going to be a little more strategic and pause it in a couple of points and see how this all goes. So I'm keeping it on the Gersh cam. You can see again, this is the new build I'm trying of Pylon Expand Gateway. Puts my gateway about 35 seconds behind, but I think it improves my resource collection rate significantly. So again, I'm trying to go for a Stargate play here. There's double gas, there's the gateway going down, defensive pylon, I see his scout probe. Couple more gas. Just pausing. Actually, I'm going to pause it at about the 4-minute mark. We'll pause it here. So at 3.5 minutes, I've gotten adept. I got Warp Gate in production, 2 Nexuses up with 32 workers, and pretty good income. So, not a bad start. And this is when things got a little nasty. He comes in with a couple of Stalkers, Mothership Core, takes out my Mothership Core, has really good harass right here. I have to make a new Mothership Core, and I chase his off. Have to make some additional defenses. He's back again. This time with my Phoenix, I'm able to actually fight it off. See a proxy pylon there. Gotta go take it out, which I do. decide to go ahead and take the third. Just trying to get more forces as quickly as possible. Taking care of his scouts, piece by piece. There's another attack here that caught me out of position. Using a combination of my Stalkers and Phoenix to deal with that. And, you know, see more scouts coming in. I want to knock down these rocks so that way I can't be attacked. I do some worker harass there, some scouting around. I get supply blocked. Ugh, shame on me. So at this point I'm trying to transition into Void Ray Zealot with a little Phoenix and Stalker support. Go after the... decide to, why not, go after a fourth. Because my initial base is starting to run down. Again, still kind of scouting around with these Phoenixes. Lose a little here and there. It's really, honestly, this game is pretty good in terms of some back and forth scouting, some back and forth attacking and harassment, and that's GG. Alright, let's... So that's basically how the game goes. We have a lot of good harassment and attacking back and forth throughout the entire mid-game. And then I eventually just kind of crush his army with superior firepower. Okay? So, I'm actually going to switch to the everyone cam now. Because I think it's kind of interesting what he does, that he immediately goes to his natural over here. I'm sorry. Oh, it is pretty interesting. I actually didn't notice that the first time I looked through. Yeah, so, yeah, he goes to his natural and blocks off this ramp very early with his pylon and gateway, or starts to. And this is ultimately where the final battle takes place, is right here, even though I harass at, I guess this is the third, more than that. Anyway, the beginning of the game, pretty straightforward and standard, not much really happening. It's when he does his harassment attack that things start getting interesting. So I was chasing his probe off a little bit. I'm always worried about proxy pylons, like inside my base, or cannon rush versus Protoss. Now here comes his first Stalker. And it's just a little harassment attack right around the 3.5-4 minute mark with his Mothership Core. Now this is actually a pretty sophisticated attack that he does, and I'm going to go back down to normal speed to take a look at exactly what happens. Now, up to this point, I've been pretty darned good at keeping my money not just low, but extremely low. Right now, less than 200. So that's pretty cool. So, my gut instinct is to turn on the Photon Overcharge. Probably, in hindsight, not the best instinct, because here's what happens. With the new... So Photon Overcharge recently got nerfed and now costs 50 energy instead of 25. Lasts longer, does more damage, but it can't be used as often. So, in the old days, right, I just spent 50 energy, so I would have been at about 80, which means I could have used Photon Overcharge 3 times. Now I can only use it once. Ooh. So while the Mothership Core, I think, still is the linchpin of the defense for Protoss, not as effective as it used to be. Because you see there, he escapes with really just a scratch outside of his shields. And what he does here is he walks around and then comes back into range just outside of the pylon's Photon Overcharge. Now, this is interesting here because my ground unit that I have is I pushed out an Adept first. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll send the Adept with their Shade ability, the Psionic Transfer, and I'll scout up towards their base. But while my Mothership Core can hit this Stalker, his Mothership Core can hit the Adept. Now, Well, yeah, so we'll see what happens here. So together... So I can't kill this Mothership Core without a Stalker, which I am producing, because the Adept can't attack air. So, two of these together, we are able to take down the Stalker, but then he just walks right back in with an additional Stalker. My Adept is already starting to get seriously hurt, and I still can't Photon Overcharge, and my Mothership Core is almost dead. Meanwhile, take a look at my money. I'm now up to 600, 400. If this attack hadn't happened, I would have been building probably 3-4 more gateways. I would have been... Let's see, Warp Gate is still being researched. Should be chrono boosting out this Stalker. So this is a moment here where my macro slips significantly because I'm just trying to survive. Now, better players, and I'm not just talking pros, I'm talking legit better players, Platinum League players, what they would be able to do is understand, okay, Mothership Core and a couple of Stalkers, this is what I need to do to defend. Set up that defense, then take 5 seconds, go over here, grab a probe, build gateway, 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 then come back to the fight and manage it more. This is the skill I need to develop, is multitasking in combat. And I don't have it yet, so that's going to be something significant that I work on. So the new rule, the new benchmark is when I get into a fight, I'm going to give myself like 5-10 seconds in the fight. And then I'm going to go back to my base. Macro, macro, macro. And then back to the fight. And I have to have the discipline to do that. Set things up, get 5-10 seconds, and then back to my base. Issue orders to the army, then go back to the base. Alright, let's see. Continue and see how this works. Mothership Core gets destroyed. The Adept gets destroyed. Stalker's coming in, is going to start harassing my workers. My own Stalker comes out. This is obviously a 2 versus 1 fight. I actually think this is decent micro on my part, where I try to basically, I'm trying to draw the Stalker away from the Mothership Core so I can engage it one-on-one as a Stalker. I also did a really good job of getting a second Mothership Core in production as soon as possible. And ultimately, I think I'm pretty successful in drawing it away. I get a couple of free shots. I'm able to kill the other Stalker. And now it's, as this Stalker pops out of the gateway and my Mothership Core comes back, Mothership Core starts with just enough energy to do 1 Photon Overcharge, and I think that's what we do. No? Okay. So a Stalker, I think one-on-one will kill a Mothership Core. If I had turned on that Photon Overcharge, I might have gotten the kill. But at that point, maybe it was smarter to not do so, because it comes in with additional troops. You know, so now I have a Phoenix, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core. He's killed off 3 workers. I've gotten 1 of his. And yeah, there we go. So you now see my money is starting to come back down. I've got gateways building. I'm still like have a large amount of gas, which, you know, going air, which is what I'm trying to do, it's not that bad of an idea to build up some additional gas resources. But looking over at the production tab, I got, 1 Phoenix building. I think I really should have a second Stargate at this point and be pumping out Phoenixes 2x2, because at this point he's done the harass attack against me. I'm not going to be harassing with oracles, so I mean it's too late for that, right? So I should be making Phoenix 2x2 and doubling down on that particular strategy. Alright, we're going to increase the speed again here. So yeah, I think in general this comes down to production capacity. we talked a little bit about resource density last time. And you can see my gas is getting very high because I'm not spending my money on gas-dense units. When I have this many resources, I should be building maybe some sentries, or I don't know, maybe transitioning to disruptors, maybe building oracles for some reason. I'm not sure, but I should be doing something with that gas. Actually, you know what I really should be getting? Something that is gas intensive and less mineral intensive is I should at this point have a forge and should be researching upgrades both at the forge and at my cybernetics core. I'm going air. I should be researching air upgrades. So here we go again. Fight starts. Oh my gosh, I have to survive. Look at the money go up. Now at this point my forces are set up. I'm warping in new units. They're within range. They're going to attack. If we go to my camera view, I'm focused here, bringing in the void ray. I needed to be macroing in those 10-15 seconds. Let's go back to it. Now I got the third base down. It's not actively working yet. I think I transfer workers in just a couple of moments here. There they go. You get the idea, though. Now, let's take a look at my money as I go out for this Phoenix attack. Oh my gosh, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. It's going up so much. So much. Break 1,000 for the first time, and my Phoenixes are just sitting here. They're not actually doing a harassment. Yeah. So as I focus on my harass attacks or on my actual attacks, that's when my money kind of goes crazy. And, you know, I think there's worse things. I think some additional production capacity should really help. At this point I'm on 6 warp gates. Maybe that should be 8. I'm on 2 stargates. Maybe that should be 3. I should have a robo facility. Maybe a robo bay. And at this point, I even go and expand to a 4th, which I'm not sure is necessary. Maybe it's necessary because I'm starting to mine out my main. But you can just see, this is the phase of the game where I'm thinking about a lot of different things. And look, I'm making zealots. Okay, zealots and void rays together are fairly cheap. Well, I mean, they're not cheap, but, you know, zealots aren't that expensive, even zealots with charge, which is what I have. The upgrades are low here. Maybe I should have had a 2nd forge. So these are just all sort of the things I'm thinking of. And then we win, which is nice. But you can see the criticisms that that we have there. Those are the things to work on. Is gotta keep the. No, it's not keeping the economy going. It's keeping the money low. Because I think, you know, I got 69 harvesters at this point. I'm on 3.5 bases, right? Should, you know, transfer a clump of workers from both of these over there. I like to top out between 70 and 80 harvesters. So I think we've reached the point where we're getting sufficient money. And now it's really just a question of spending that sufficient money. And that is going to be the focus for the next couple of weeks. Still, though, it's always nice to share with you guys a game in which I won. So, that's it. All I got for today. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment if you have some suggestions, things I'm doing right, things I'm doing wrong. Once again, woohoo! Gold League! Very, very excited. Got promoted up to gold. We are one step closer to Diamond and one step further away from Ragequit. And that makes it a very successful start to the season in my book. Thank you all very much. I'll see you next time. Cheers.